Hey everybody, Sunday evening for some more Gearhead Interactive live chat. Glad you guys all made it back once again tonight. Exciting tonight. We're going to give away the steering wheel as well as the Chrysler horn ring. A lot of fun stuff planned for tonight. It took me a couple minutes to get, I was a couple minutes late getting going because I was moving the auction mountain over here. I keep throwing stuff in that pile every week and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. We need to thin that pile down a little bit here in a little while. But let's see who is here and ready to go tonight. Kevin L's here. Kevin Brown's here. Neil made it. Buick Man's back. Pete's here. Ron Levesque. Glad to see you guys all back and ready to go tonight. Hey, there's Randy. Dad's here with us. Waycamp made it. Glad to see you guys back and ready for tonight's raffle. The big Buick oil can is warmed up. It's ready to go. It's full of entries. And this cool stuff's going to be going to somebody, to their collections here in a short amount of time. It'll be on the way this week. So, hey, Randy Ellenberger stopping by. Anyway, as always, before we get too far into anything tonight, a little bit of housekeeping. Bodine's here with us. Start off with the Hudson badge. How about that, getting things started off on the right foot? Throw a share out there. Let your friends know that we are on live and ready to go. Autocorrect, please double check your comment before you hit send. I try to catch most comments. I do miss a few of them, but if I can't understand what you're saying, I just have to skip it and keep going. Christine's back. Jim's here. If you're on the Nobody Show Facebook page, I cannot see those comments. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page. If you're on Facebook and you want to comment, you will need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto page, or you can jump over to YouTube to the Nobody Show page over there. Those are the only two screens I can see on my monitors. If you just want to watch there and hang out, you're perfectly fine. But please remember, I cannot see your comments on the Nobody Show Facebook page. Hubcap made it back. Trolls, we do occasionally get trolls on here. We've taken some steps to put into place to help eliminate some of that, but occasionally some of them do sneak in. I ignore them. You guys do a great job making sure they know they're not welcome. Ads, we are dealing with ads. It is their system, and it's their game, so we got to kind of work around it. That's part of the deal. Sean's here with us. And as always, Super Chats are super awesome. We have the Supercharged Super Chat badge warmed up and ready to go for any Super Chats that may pop up throughout the evening. Yes, this is an original Supercharged badge off of the side hoods for a 3536 Auburn Supercharged Boattail Speedster. So, pretty cool deal. We're ready to go for any Super Chats that may pop up throughout the evening. So, anyway, I hope everybody had a great week. We're back. We're ready to go. So, let's get caught up a bit. First off, next week, I probably will not be here. Hey, Glenn made it. I'm planning on being back on Sunday, but it's not going to be till late afternoon, early evening. If everything goes according to plan, we may jump on for a short episode, but next Sunday, I'm not planning on going on. If I do, it will be just a short abbreviated deal just to catch up with everybody, depending on when I get back. So bear that in mind. I'll try to throw a post up sometime Sunday afternoon and keep you guys in the loop. Hey, there's Bill. But probably not going to make it back in time next Sunday night. So bear that in mind for next week. Hippie's here tonight. I've seen Bill's here. Pete's on. I don't know if Eric is with us or not. You guys let me know what works for you. I have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday available this week for our class on talking about how I do what I do. If you guys are interested in that, let me know what you guys have going for Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesdays. We can try to get together. We tried last week. It just never couldn't get everybody's schedules to align. Glad those made it, Hubcap. So, hey, Balin Wire made it. So anyway, you guys let me know what works for you. I've got those 3 nights this week. Anyway, what did you guys think of last week? We had a lot of fun with Phil. It's always great when Phil has time to stop by. The guy's Ford knowledge on that 50s era stuff is crazy. And I hope you guys had fun with that. It's always a good time when people have time to swing by with and spend a little time with us. And that worked out well last week. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I learned a lot. And the awesome part about it is like this brochure stuff. And I actually saw it again today. Worked on a few videos today. Michael Glagola made her back tonight. I didn't get a lot shot. I got a couple shot. But going through some brochures and getting a few things ready to do a few videos, I was like, hey, that don't look right. So I flipped to the back of the brochure, and it was like an August of the year before. It was like in 1950, and this was like an August 49 brochure. And when you start looking for that stuff, noticeable differences in production cars versus some of those early sales brochures. So who knows what we may find on some of this stuff. But once again, it just adds a whole new element to this sales brochure thing. And the stuff that Phil was able to point out to us, so the pre-production Edsel stuff, the stuff on the 58 Fords, that was awesome. Hey, Jeff from Ottawa made it. So I thought it was great. I had fun, and him stopping by and sharing his knowledge with us was awesome. And it's always fun when people have time to do that. I know it's tough on Sunday nights, but when we have the opportunity, I always like to try to make it happen. So Dennis made it by. So anyway, that was fun. Hypes. I've been noticing some of you guys have been hyping up the videos. I super appreciate that. We've talked about that a little bit. John Sanderson made it. The first 7 days, I think, that a video is up, the more hypes you get, YouTube assigns points to that video based on the amount of hypes. And I've been noticing some of you guys have been hyping them up. So I do appreciate that. That helps nudge those along in the massive machine that is YouTube. So any little thing like that always helps push things along. So I definitely appreciate the guys that take a second and hit the hype button to help nudge those along. You as well, Hippie. Glad you made it by tonight and spend a few minutes with us. So let us know what you think of our little Sunday night shindig here. Last Tuesday, obviously we missed Toy Tuesday. I had county commissioners here on last Tuesday. Our county commissioners are making rounds, visiting local businesses. I do a lot of work with our county commission, and they wanted to come by, so they went out to the yard for a bit. And we talked about what I thought, needed to change around the county, which that and $3 gets you a cup of coffee. But, that's about what my opinion was worth. But they wanted to listen, so I let them know. And then we went to Dad's and looked at cars, came by here and looked at cars. Hey, there's Wake Up America made it by tonight. Thanks, Hippie. Appreciate the kind words. But and they were here till almost 7. So, they finally got out of here about 6:45. So there was just no way to have stuff put together and ready to jump on. But like we've talked about, I've been telling you guys, I am going to start pre-recording some Toy Tuesdays and run them as videos because this seems to be happening more and more and more. Hey, there's David D. And I'm not going to say we'll never do a live one again, but I want to have some stuff ready for those type of situations when that happens, because it's, like I said, it's not uncommon for me to get busy and not be able to do it. And this Tuesday night, as a matter of fact, that's what we've got, because I bought some killer signs yesterday that I am super excited about. Local stuff and a little bit of history. Not a lot of deep history, just stuff right off the top of my head, because I did the video like right after I bought them. We were at an auction, and as soon as the auction got moved away over the other side of the lot, I did a video because I was pretty jacked up. So we'll probably go ahead and throw that up on Tuesday night for the Toy Tuesday, because these are some killer signs. I was excited to get them, and I can't believe they're in my shop right now. Well, some are in my shop, some in Dad's shop. But it, local stuff, good stuff. Some people are going to look at them and say, those aren't that old, but they actually are getting old. So I'm excited to share that stuff with you, because I am super excited that they are now in our shops. So that's what happened last Tuesday, and that's why we weren't able to jump on. What's up there, Buick man? and that happens sometimes. So anyway, what else did I do this week? Finally working on a ramp for my warehouse. And so the warehouse just down the street here, which is a Dock Height warehouse. Rocky, that's been on here with us a few times, he showed up the other day. We started laying one out, and he's been welding her up and kind of got a game plan put together. So hopefully we'll be able to drive into that building here in the near future. Even though I've already started filling it, I got a huge load of bumpers this week. And I got an entire van load of re-chrome bumpers from the 60s and 70s this week. So I've got all that stuff laid out in there too. In fact, I ought to show you this van. Hey, there's Briggs. You guys want to see this van that I had to clean out the other day? John from Texas is here. There was a 76 LeSabre rear and I think some 71 or 2 stuff, if I remember correctly. There were 62 bumpers in there, so. Yeah, here it is. Steve made it by tonight. It was packed full. So yeah, it was interesting to say the least. But they're all here. They're laid out down there. I need to get them. I need to get them inventoried. Yeah. And to top it off, rats had been living in there for years as well. So that didn't make the situation any more pleasant because it was full of sticks. And of course, all the bumpers were originally wrapped in paper. So the paper was torn off. It was packed full of twigs and sticks that I had to, every time I grabbed a bumper, I basically grabbed the end of the bumper, pulled it out, dropped it on the ground, and let the branches fall. So, yeah. So I got to get to work making a list of those. So that took about half a day this week just to get all those things drug out of there and sorted. So I did not see anything alive, John. So that was fortunate. But if there was anything that was alive in there, as soon as I started grabbing bumpers, they hightailed it the other direction. So I never saw anything moving in there, but it was definitely in the back of my mind. Trust me, I was not ignorant of the situation. That there could be something hiding in there when I started grabbing that stuff. But anyway, Jeff, almost all of them are. I may have found 2, maybe 3 that weren't marked. So definitely excited that, at least there's something to work with when they're marked. Some of the markings were getting a little thin, but I could, make it out close enough to where I got a pretty good idea where I can probably look at pictures, if nothing else, and be able to match them up or match them to something in the yard. But so that was fortunate because when I bought them, I had no clue. It was a complete crapshoot when I bought them. There could have been none of them marked. But fortunately, almost every single one of them was. So I was very, very lucky in that aspect that most of the stuff I will be able to identify. And, a lot of this stuff is slow movers. That's why it didn't sell 40 years ago when it was done. But, it will still find a home eventually. So. But no, fortunately didn't see any other critters in there. Got everything back in. Took, I think, 3 loads with the Colorado and got them all laid out, sorted. In fact, Yeah. Here they are. So they're all laid out now. That's Mopar stuff, Ford stuff. That's AMC and some miscellaneous and GM. So that's good, Sean. Marlins are pretty cool. That was a good score, Buick, man. Sounds good, John. That sounds like a great plan. Not like we have to grab a bumper, drag it out, and let all the dust and everything fly. Fortunately, there was a breeze that day. So as I yanked one back, I stepped back this way and everything went the other way. So I had to strategically be on one side as I yanked, let it fall, and let everything blow. So, yeah, I'll get a full inventory list. I shot some clips of dragging all that junk out. So I'll put a short video together and I'll put a list on the end of it. But yeah, it's all going to go. That's what it's there for. So yeah, the airflow was excellent. It wasn't super windy, but there was enough breeze that when I yanked something back and all the dust and leaves and everything was up in the air, it just carried it off. So that was perfect. Sounds good, Bill. Yeah, there's no 70 Chevelle bumpers in there. I do know that much. Hold on. It sounds like I got a situation in the shop. Just a second. Okay, we're back. You are right, Buick man. Actually, the bumper's in a different shop, John, but that is a good guess. Now I could hear a right above me. So I went out, turned the lights on, and I could still hear him going at it. And nothing had broke loose yet, but you guys that have been to my shop know I've got that deck right above me that runs the whole length of the shop for empty boxes. So I heard him up there growling, so I just started banging on the boxes right out here, and then all of a sudden it sounded like a herd of elephants trying to run down off the deck. So, yeah, it was fixing to get ugly out there. So you were right, Buick man. There was about had a situation right up above our head, pretty close. Anyway, what's up on the No Buddies page? What have you guys been up to this week? Let's check it out and see. Matt, it's a sweet old Snap-on box. Advertising sharpening stone. That's kind of cool. Oh, Matt threw the Chrysler horn, but I appreciate that. Sometimes, guys, I don't think about getting stuff over to the Nobody's page. So when I throw something up, like added the Chrysler horn ring to tonight's raffle, I appreciate you throwing that up there, Hubcap, because that was great that you got that over there for me. So, Pete picked up a 52 Chevy today. Nick, new miniature signs for the collection. Andy out jeeping. Oh, there it is, Buick man. Oh, I see how the green is in where those 73 electric headlights go back. I see you got the green in there. Yeah, check that one out too. The classic car nitpicker. That's actually pretty funny. So anyway, guys, it's always fun keeping up to date with what you guys have going. And that page has been great. Andy and Zach take care of that for us. I don't have anything to do with that page. So I super appreciate the fact that they do that, and that allows all of us to keep up with what everybody else is going on. And like I said, guys, if I throw something up, don't ever hesitate to share it over to there, because a lot of times, when I'm trying to post here and post there, nobody else's page, the show page, YouTube, things like that, sometimes it just doesn't get over there. So if you're not on the Nobodies, be sure to jump on over there, answer the questions. Zach and Andy will get you into the group, and it's awesome that all you guys have joined, and it is building its own little community. Pete threw some stuff up on there about the gathering, so we just as well touch on that as well real quick while we're here. This will be the third annual gathering of the Nobodies, as crazy as that sounds. We've been touching on this a little bit over the last few weeks, and we're going to talk about it, more as we get over the next coming weeks, because here, probably by the 1st of December, I would like to have something narrowed down so that you guys that are interested in coming to the third annual gathering can get that on your calendars and try to make plans if you plan to attend. We've talked about, we've got several dates thrown up there. We do have April 18th open. April 25th is Pate. We've done those weekends. In the last couple of years, we had snow one year and rain one year. So also talk about possibly moving it to end of May, 1st of June. The first 3 weekends of May typically never work. First weekend in May is always Lawrence Swap Meet. I'm usually there. Rico's usually there. Spring Chickasha is the week after that. May 16th is typically graduations everywhere. May 23rd is Memorial Weekend, which I am actually not opposed to doing if you guys wanted to make an extended weekend out of it. There's plenty of other stuff around here we can do. We can schedule a couple of other stops and try to squeeze some other stuff in on Memorial Weekend if you guys were interested, or possibly even May 30th or June 6th. So that information has been put out there. Please be thinking about that, because I would like to have a decision nailed down, here in about a month, so people have plenty of time to plan. So send Pete an email. If you want to throw your email address up there, these guys can contact you if you want. Pete does an amazing job of helping manage this for me, helps manage the email list and all of this stuff. So, let me know what you're thinking, guys, and see what works for you. And we've had a lot of fun the last 2 years, and everybody's excited about doing it a third time. So I guess we'll try again. Thanks, Pete. Appreciate that. You guys can always email Pete, since he manages the email list on all this stuff for us. And we'll see what we can do, and should be a good time again. If nothing else, we'll see if Mark will make us some more brisket, because that's kind of worth the trip by itself. New inventory. I didn't pick up any cars this week. We had a lot of rain last weekend going into the first of the week, so it was pretty soft at the yard. It's almost dry enough where I can move around a bit. So, sounds good, John. We'll check it out. John just threw his car up on the Nobody's page. That's what that page is for, is so you guys can post what you've got going on. There you go. Good looking car. So thanks for throwing that up, John. That's the whole purpose of that page, is for you guys to share what you're working on. So, and that's all thanks to Zach and Andy for doing that for us. Tim B likes the end of May, beginning of June. Well, like I said, that's why that's out there. Pete is actually keeping a tally on votes of what people would really prefer. So that is going to give us something to work off of if you want to email that to him, Tim. And we'll get, like I said, I just want to get something nailed down sooner rather than later, so everybody that is interested can plan for it. Hey, Devin. So anyway, even though I didn't pick up any new cars this week, I did get some killer signs. I was telling you about that is coming up Tuesday night. It's right up there, Bad Boy Chevrolets at Gmail. Pete just posted that, Tim. So we got some killer signs coming up that I am super excited about. Okay, we got a lot of stuff to cover tonight, plus giving away this other stuff. End of May might be a possibility for Hippie. So sounds good. Like I said, that's why we're talking about it now. That's why we're going to keep talking about it over the next 2 or 3 weeks, so that, the first year we did this, it was kind of a last minute deal. We talked about it for 3 or 4 months. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? And it was kind of a last minute deal that we threw it together, and everybody had a blast. So we did it again last year, and now the general consensus is everybody wants to do it again. So that's what we'll do, I guess. So anyhow, well, and John, that's why we're talking about it now. That's the entire purpose of talking about it now, 6 months ahead of time, so that we can schedule something that hopefully a lot of guys can work around. We are going to cap it. 30, 35 people is about all we can handle. We've had, around 25 come the last couple of years, but realistically, I think that 30 to 35 window is about all we're going to be able to handle on a weekend and still make it an enjoyable experience for everybody. We've had a great time hanging out at Dry Lake Brewing, eating some Flatlanders pizza. It's been a good time. So hopefully a lot of you guys can make it, and it grows a little bit more even this year. So Nate, gonna make it this year no matter what. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Oh, Nate, sweet Sean, glad you threw that up there. The El Camino title is not done. That bill of sale is in the VIN inspection file. So it's ready to get, it's in the batch for the next batch to be inspected. So I will have that one done. I know the Chrysler's done, Nate. I've been meaning to tell you that this week. I was going to text you. So, but anyway, we're going to make it happen. I'm glad you're going to try to make it, Nate. So, yep, that's true. We've had California to Delaware have been here. So I think Bill plans on coming back this year from Delaware. And I bet Kenny is probably going to try to come back again as well. So anyhow, what else we want to do tonight? What have we not done tonight? We haven't done any auctions. Anybody want to buy anything? Should we sell something real quick before we give stuff away and talk about a badge and a cap? Oh, the sales brochure tonight, guys. The sales brochure, this collection, and we talk about this all the time, this collection of sales brochures, every week when I go to get something out, it is, I find stuff that I literally open it and I'm like, this not only does this exist, I'm holding it. This stuff's 70, 80, 90 years old, and it's amazing. So, sweet Balemeyer, we'll check it out. Sounds good, Nate. That'll work. So, yeah, we got it. Man, this brochure, this brochure is just, and I know I say this every week, but that's what happens every week. It's like, wow. Oh, the cap tonight. Oh, all right, we're going to sell a couple things here because we got to get off this. This is kind of mind-blowing here. So, all right, let's, what do we got to do here? Let's do it. Let's just start with a license plate. Let's do this. All right, let's sell something. All right, we're going to have some auctions. These will be regular auctions. We will slide some flash auctions in that you guys may not be ready for later on this evening, but we're going to start off with some basic stuff. Yeah, that's right, John. It is a once in a life. I cannot thank Carrie enough for thinking of me on this deal because it is just that insane. But anyway, that being said, we'll get to that in a little bit because it's almost you can't hardly explain some of this stuff. So let's slide a few auctions here. I know you guys want to add some stuff to your collection before we add this stuff to somebody else's collection here in a little bit. We got the can tonight is off the chains that we're going to check out. This particular can not in the book, but the company is in the book, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. Let's auction a few things off. We're going to go 90 seconds. This stuff is all tonight will be shipping will be included. We don't have any big heavy stuff tonight, so shipping will be included in this. We'll go 90 seconds. I'll hold up an item. We'll talk about it. We'll give you we'll give you some specifics on it. We'll talk about the car. Hey, there's an Auburn badge. You can have a drink. Talk about damage, the car. We'll give you some dimensions on some of this stuff. Hey, Chai Savage made it back. As we're doing that, you guys throw your bids out there. Then we're going to hit the timer. We're going to go 90 seconds. Whoever has the high bid that I can see on my screen at the end of 90 seconds, we need a Hudson badge to get warmed up, will be declared the winner. Shipping is included in the 48 states. If you're a non-U.S. buyer, you are more than welcome to play. However, you will need to get me paid in U.S. funds, and you will be responsible for shipping. If you want to build up a few weeks before we ship out of the country, that is fine as well. And on the flip side of that, even though shipping is included in this stuff, if you only have one or two small items, I will hold those for a week or two until we get enough, until you get 3 or 4 things built just to justify the shipping. Because if you buy something that's $15 and it costs me $10 to ship it to you, I at least got this thing's got to wash itself out so we can keep adding more to the pile. That's right, Hippie. If this page, the No Buddies on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, look up the No Buddies, spelled just like this. Answer the questions. I have not seen Andy or Zach on tonight, but they will get you in. It is a private group specifically for the No Buddies. So you will need to answer the questions. They will get you in, and we will help you with the questions if you need help with them tonight. And that's what that page is completely for. That's why it was put together, was so that you guys can show off what you're working on. Let's start off with a plate tonight. How about this one for Pete? Arkansas, 1951. I told you we got some different states we're going to start working in. Let's go down south to Arkansas. This plate, 74 years old. It's got a little bit of paint loss up here. Sounds great, Hippie. Kind of an off-white with a forest green type color. Back of this plate's in good shape. It's not twisted up or bent. So this is a standard size type plate. Roughly 12 by 6, just under 6 by 12. The Land of Opportunity, Arkansas, 1951. Who's going to get us rolling on the 1951 Arkansas plate? Pete starting us off at 10. Kevin at 10. Everybody's at 10. We'll see what happens here. Coming up on the 30-second mark. 30 seconds gone. 60 seconds left to go. Sounds like Kevin may finally come down and get his stuff. I hope he's bringing a trailer here soon. Kevin at 11. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. We're ticking away. What's going to happen? Kevin at 11. Just about ready to wind her down. Pete, 16. And that does it. Pete at 16. And here come all the bids. Pete at 16. I had Mark, I had Ron, but they were all a little bit late. There's John Anderson. There's David D. Woo! There was a slug of them in there. Pete barely snuck that one out because there were bullets flying everywhere on that one. All right, let's catch a couple more pieces and keep moving here. This just got this yesterday. Fresh piece from yesterday's auction. No, it is not one of my signs. I did buy a box of miscellaneous Chevrolet parts. I thought this piece was kind of cool, and I figured you guys might enjoy it. 54 Arkansas. There might be one in there. I've got a handful of, I got Arkansas, Nebraska, Wisconsin. I got 6 or 8 different states. Hey, there's Tractor Mike. So 54 Arkansas. I may have one. We'll check and see. Up next, this fresh from yesterday's auction out of a box of Chevy parts. I think this is a 55 hood, I think. This is an old school original used, so it's not super fancy and shiny. The colors are faded out of it, but I think it's a 55 hood badge. Still a cool man cave piece. You can paint the bow tie black blue. You can leave it original. The chrome isn't bad. It's not pitted up or busted. Just the center plastic is faded. Like I said, I think it's 55 hood. I didn't double check it. It is. $13 1/4 by about 2.5. So it's about 13 1/4 by about 2.5. So anyway, the studs are there. The plastic's there. Just has some hairline cracks, and it is faded. So anyway, let's get rolling on the 55 Chevy front hood badge. Here we go. Who's going to get us going on this one? Kevin L at 15. Tim B 16. There's the 30-second mark. We're ticking away almost to the 1 minute. Tim B at 16. After that last one, we're kind of curious to see what's going to happen because there was bullets flying everywhere at the end of that one. Kevin Brown, 17. Ticking away, coming down to the end. We're about ready to wrap this one up. Kevin at 17. Few seconds left. David D, 22. Here they come. Kevin L, 20. I got David D at 22. And that did it. David D, 22. And here come the rest of them. Hey, there's Big Job. All right. David D's excited. Well, something we haven't done in a little bit. I think we did it once or twice last week, but how about a flash auction? Here we go. Flash auction, 1 minute. We're live on the Uniroyal spare tire ashtray. Who likes these things? Everybody likes these things. Uniroyal tires, 1 minute, guys. We're going. See the tread on it? This one is Kevin L at 10, right at 6 inches in diameter. 10, 10, and 10. Everybody's at 10. Everybody's at 10. Almost to halfway through and everybody's at 10. Christine at 18. Tim B, 15. We're going 1 minute on this and it's half over. 30 seconds gone. Flash auction on the Uniroyal tire ashtray. Actual rubber tire glass ashtray. Kevin Brown, 20. Kevin L, 20. Randy Weininger, 20. So somebody's going to have to blow this thing out. Wake up at 25. There we go. Somebody hadn't broke it up. We got a few seconds left. Anybody else taking shots? I've got Wake Up at 25. Big Job at 30. And that does it. Big Job at 30. I figured somebody was going to hit that 30. These are usually 30, 35 bucks. So I figured somebody was going to hit that 30 there towards the end. And Big Job was right there ready to do it. All right, that wake everybody up. It woke me up. I know that. Glad you enjoyed it, John. That's why we like throwing them in there. Sometimes some of this stuff takes a little more explanation, but sometimes we got some. That's kind of a. The tire ashtrays, we do them occasionally when I find a cool one. Everybody knows what they are, what brand it is, and what tire size is it, and that's pretty much it. We can go with them. Sometimes we'll probably slide a license plate in on a flash auction, but those are kind of fun. Dave, looking for a two-door complete Nova. There again, that's a wide open topic, Dave. Depends on what you're looking for. So that's why I always tell everybody, just give me a call so I can get as much information from you as possible. Let's talk about an oil can. Oil cans are cool. We've been having a ton of fun with our American oil cans identification and price guide that our friend Tom put together 20 years ago. So the prices are outdated, but there's so much cool stuff in here that we're having a ton of fun with it. I think everybody that had paid, they have been shipped. I had 3 more go out. I had 3 go out first of the week that I picked up at the Hutch Swap Meet. I have 2 left in stock right now that are not spoken for. If you want one of these, I have 2 more on the shelf that can go. So if not, and he still has some in stock. He's not out of them. I know he's getting, I think, probably down to the last case or 2. But I do have 2 more in stock if anybody wants one. Tonight's oil can is not a quart, so the actual can is not going to be in here. Everybody, they are 25, hippie. Yeah, Tim, I think, didn't you have... Yeah, Tim, I had your little truck, your little red truck, and your oil can book are on the way. They went out. I don't know if I got them out Monday, but I think they went out Tuesday. So, yeah, it is on the way, Tim. So, anyway, so much cool stuff in here. If you haven't been with us and you haven't seen all these killer cans that are in here, a lot of great stuff. Tonight's can is a local can, and it's a bigger one, so I kind of got it sitting over here off the side. And it's a little bit rough, but you can still see the graphics. So I think it's pretty cool. Actually, it is. The company is actually, believe it or not, it is on the cover. The company is Hudson. So let's flip this open to page 45. If you've got your book out, page 45 is where the Hudson can is at. And this is very similar to can number 405. That's the one that's on the cover. So we'll kind of hold it up here so we can get a little better look at this exact can with the graphics on it. Orange black with the tanker truck, the airplanes, the race cars. Now, this is a small regional company out of Kansas City. I tried to look it up, and there really isn't even much on it. That's right, John. If you want to look like a big shot, go walking around the swap meet carrying your oil can book like you know what you're doing. But Hudson Oil Company was actually based out of Kansas City. A world traveler and self-made millionaire, Mary Hudson, yes, Mary, this was a lady, was one of only 3 women on the Forbes magazine list of 400 richest Americans at some point. As an oil industry leader listed in the who's who of American women, she's made international news when her empire collapsed. Hudson's career began in 1933 as a 21-year-old widow with an infant to support. She borrowed $200 to buy a gas station in Kansas City, which led to a prominent role in a man's industry. An in-your-face independent distributor, among the first to offer no-frills self-service gasoline, she co-founded a national organization for independent dealers, eventually owning 300 stations in 35 states, plus an Oklahoma refinery. But a glut of cheap foreign oil, poor corporate management, and multiple government changes shattered Hudson's empire. Fighting to stay profitable, she made unwise decisions and eventually filed bankruptcy. But the company started in 33. This can, number 405, if you look, I'm sure some of you guys have already looked in your book, is a 50s era can. So this was from the 50s. Now, we've got to remember that, and there's not much on there. I did a little bit of Googling on the Hudson Oil Company, trying to come up with some more specifics to talk about this can tonight, and just couldn't find much. But that goes with saying, remember, this book is 20 years old. So this book is 20 years old. 20 years ago, this quart, in good condition. But this quart 20 years ago was a $300 quart. Right here, Hudson Oil from the 50s was a $300 quart. So that gives you an idea that, or a little better understanding that these aren't just average cans. So the can that we're going to check out tonight is a 5-gallon. Either way, that's just a nice condition can. It is a square 5-gallon, so I'm going to guess this is probably a 40s era can. And it's definitely rough. It's definitely got some fading. But check this thing out. Hudson Motor Oil, Hudson Oil Company, Kansas City, Kansas. We see the race cars, the airplanes, and, of course, the tanker truck. There goes the hearts. That's good. Now, this is, these are square 5 gallons. These are early. That's right, John. That has a tendency to happen when we get to talking about this stuff, doesn't it? This actually has Hudson on all 4 sides. However, some sides are rougher than others. The hearts are still flowing. That's a good sign. The bottom is still intact. But like I said, this has some fading. This should be more of an orangey red. It's almost faded to a yellow. But you can still make this stuff out. We see, in fact, I'll hold it up here closer so we can see that you guys can get a better look at the race cars, the tanker, and the airplanes. That's what we think, Bodine. We think it's cool. So that's what we've got for tonight. Even though it's not a quart, we were still able to get some information out of our book about the Hudson Oil Company. But it's a great can. So the graphics are amazing. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, condition on this thing is just so-so, but you can still make it out. So that's awesome. Promo model. Let's do a promo model. We're going to give this stuff away here shortly. We need to get that done too. But promo model, getting down to the end. About 5 more in the big batch of Chevrolet promos that Dad and I got at the big auction a little over a year ago. It does show a lot of serious history, Kevin L. There is no doubt about that. And tonight, we have the 1972 Corvette Stingray 454 in bonnet yellow. And yes, it looks gold to me as well. But that was bonnet yellow in 1972. As with all these Chevys that we've been looking at, condition is just second to none. There goes the hearts again. No boxes on any of these, but they were all stored in the house of the people that used to be the Chevy dealers up in north central Kansas. Each year they would pick out a few they liked and took home, put them on the shelves in the house, and that's as far as they ever went. So this piece hadn't been moved in 50 years till it went to the auction a year ago, and now it is in our collection. So something different. We can see the 454 emblems on the hood. If you guys look real close right up here, make out the Stingrays on the front fenders with all these original tires, original wheels. The bottom there again, just one piece of injection molded plastic without a lot of details, but they still get a lot of stuff right on here. You know, you shows the full true dual exhaust all the way back, some things like that. So, and it kind of shows the independent rear suspension back here. But kind of a cool piece. Even see the cross flags on the fuel door back here if we look close. Not too far off, big job. And on your screen, that's probably what it looks like. In person, it is a metallic gold in person. I can see even just looking at my screen where it looks like it has a green tint to it. It is pretty much basically a medium gold. So that's what we've got for the promo tonight. Yeah, that's right, Ed. I bet that is going to catch a lot of people's attention. Only 2 cars that added positive traction and independent rear suspension. Randy's here. That's true, Randy. I'm going to regroup here. We got a badge. We got a cap. Oh, we had a badge. Where'd the badge go? I've got a badge around here somewhere. Well, we'll see if we get to it. Because the badge disappeared. It's probably around here somewhere. Let's catch some story time. That it is. Addie took that and ran with it. That movie's on. I can't believe that movie is over 30 years old. And it is on all the time. And whenever it's on, what do? If you're flipping through, looking for something to watch, if that's on, what do? You leave it there. You stop and watch it. I mean, it just happens. Tonight's grease cap is pretty amazing as well. This badge thing has me puzzled, though. Bear with me here just a second. I can't figure out where the badge... Oh, there it is. Okay. So I couldn't figure out where the badge went for tonight. Okay, I feel better about that now. Let's catch some story time. We haven't done that in a bit. And tonight's kind of a twofer on story time. If you haven't been with us before, story time, Dad has all these old pictures and all these old records of cars he flipped back in the day, which at the time were just late model used cars, but now it's cool old stuff. So anyway, Mike from Texas stopping by. We don't have a good picture of this car, unfortunately. It was in the shop when they took it, and I couldn't find any other pictures on this 1972 Olds Cutlass. But we're going to get a twofer on it, believe it or not. This one took me a second. I'm sure Dad will have some more information on this, but this one took me a second to figure out. Because there was a lot of paperwork in this file. A lot of paperwork. This one packet was actually not when it was sold new, or was it? Let's see what we got here. No, this was the dealership that Dad worked at. Sold this car in 77. And then it was traded back in, from what I can find on this paperwork, in 80. And that's when Dad bought it the first time. So going through this paperwork, we see in February 12th of 1980 is when Dad bought this car for a whopping $164.29. There's the dealership, and that's the purchase order. Now, it needed a lot of work. We're going to go through this, but here's the repair order for what Dad did to this thing in 1980. So let's check it out. Timing gear and chain. That's another thing, we don't really think about that much anymore. Timing gear and chain was basic maintenance back in the day. Valve cover gaskets, fan clutch, R&R transmission and reseal, brakes, rear bumper, tune-up, overhauled starter, overhauled alternator, lube oil and filter, buff and wax, body side moldings. 10 hours of body work. So apparently this car was banged up. So I don't know if Dad remembers what was wrong with it. Yeah, no kidding, Bill. Because I didn't see a lot of body parts. So I wonder if it was just some straightening or something that needed to be done to it. Had paint. Had a pint of paint. So 10 hours of body work, replaced all 4 shocks, installed a radio, put 4 tires on it, put a windshield in it, R&R seats. So I don't know if he had to have the seats repaired. Hey, there's Big Red. Okay, Dad said it was hitting the rear quarter. That's why that was the problem. That's why it had 10 hours of body work. It was hit in the rear quarter when he bought it. So that's probably why there wasn't a lot of parts. That's probably why I had to put a bumper on it. It probably, snagged the corner of the bumper when it got hit. So he had 10 hours of body work in the quarter and put a bumper on it. Repair high blower AC, add Freon, flush and install antifreeze. Safety inspection, lube speedometer cable. So anyway, Dad said they figured it needed a quarter, but he just fixed it. So all right, check this out, guys. This is hilarious. Got oil to change oil for it at Kmart. And it looks like it was 76 cents a quart. Not a lot of parts. Gaskets, front cover gasket, front oil seal, obviously for the timing gear and chain. That's right, Christine. It was a blue light special. Brakes. Safety inspection. Windshield seal kit. $3 for the butyl tape kit for a windshield. And a pint of paint. This was kind of that goldish color that was pretty common on 7. I've seen a lot of 72 Cutlasses in this color. It looks like this, of course, this is handwritten tickets, but it looks like a pint of paint was $4.95. So, hey, there's Kenny. I don't feel tardy. I still think it's one of the greatest lines ever in a song. I don't feel tardy. So anyway, so he bought it for $164.29. $169.21 was sales tax. It had $4.92 in sales tax. Obviously put a ton of work into it. Not a lot of parts, but a ton of work. That's right, big job. Let's see. Where was the bumper at? What did the bumper cost? Didn't have anything down for the bumper, so probably traded it out. So, but with all the gaskets and seals and things like that he had to pay for, with the cost of the car and the parts, had $290.69 in it. But obviously a ton of time. Yeah, it is $5 an ounce. That's true, Dan. But basically, just the time he had marked down was about 55 hours. By the time he fixed the quarter, did the timing gear and chain, pulled the tranny, had about a week and a half's worth of labor in it, solid labor. So bought it. And remember this, he bought it February 12th of 1980. He sold it 3 months later, May 20th. And this was all done in evenings and weekends. So put a week and a half's worth of labor in it over weekends, over evenings and weekends. And sold it 3 months later. And he got $1,000 cash and a 71 Olds in trade. So, the car made some good money. When you figure he's got labor at $8.50 an hour, and he kind of figured that, I think, on an internal rate at the dealership. So when you kind of figure that around, that was, granted, it was a ton of work, but that was a lot of profit in 1980. Make $1,000 on a side deal in 1980. That was pretty good money. So sold it in May of 80 to some local people. And then what kind of threw me off is I found more paperwork in here. And what threw me off is this file was in the 1983 file. So I thought that was kind of odd. And there was another ticket in here on the same car. So apparently what happened, from what I can figure out, oh yeah, and then started on that in February and didn't have heat in the garage. So working in the evenings in February with no heat. So in fact, I still remember when that heater went up in the garage. That was a pretty big deal. So in 1983, he actually ended up with the car back. And I don't know if they traded it back in or if Dad bought it back. But in, let's see, does it have a date on here? November of 83. Oh, so about 3.5 years later, he ended up with the car back. And for $850. And he put tires back on it again, serviced it, packed the wheel bearings, put front brake shoes on it. Kind of weird to say front brake shoes, had to do 5 hours of body work on it the second time. Put valve cover gaskets on it again, tuned it up, and a blower fuse. So not near as much work, but still had 5 hours of body work on it the second time around in 1983, and sold it for $1,350 that time. So when you figure, these cars, we're talking in the hundreds of dollars, but back then, 40 years ago, that was, when a shop rate was charging $8.50, $10 an hour, that was pretty good side money in the early 80s. Okay, traded it in on a 77 Cutlass. Oh, and that's actually, the 77 Cutlass is in the book on the same page as this picture. So we need to get the paperwork out on the 77 Cutlass that he traded this back in 1983. So that's what we have for story time tonight. The 1972 Cutlass two-door hardtop. A twofer. So you guys keep saying you're enjoying that. So we keep working them in when we have time. Some nights we don't get to it. But that's why I kind of wanted to jump ahead and squeeze it in tonight, because we've missed a few of them. So, and that's right. In fact, you're exactly right, Big Red. That's why I actually sold this, I think, to like our neighbor's parents, I think, is who bought this car in 80. And then that's who traded it back in 83 on the 77 Cutlass, if I remember that. So I did not see that tractor, Mike. All right. Who's ready to give some stuff away? I use my auction notepad to keep up with the raffle stuff. We're going to give away the steering wheel. We're going to give away the horn ring. And then we're going to give away entries into next month's raffle. Then we're going to tell you what next month's raffle is. All right. The hearts are flowing. Everybody's excited. Did the Doves invoice show mileage? When you bought it, it showed 98,000. The original invoice when the people bought it in 77 before they wrecked it in 80 was 56,000. But the odometer statement when you bought it in 80 showed 98. Yeah, 98,054. Was what the odometer statement showed on this one in 80. Thanks, Kenny. Appreciate that. This is all because Mom and Dad kept good records of this stuff 40 years ago, so we can enjoy it today. So glad you guys are enjoying it. It's something a little bit different for sure that we're not going to get anywhere else. All right. The names are in the Big Buick oil can. Who got in this week? This week's entries, Duchon, Duchon. Not sure who that is, but sometimes these names come through differently than what we see on here. So glad you're still enjoying it, Big Red. Oh, yeah, by the way, Pete, that is gone. Gone. I probably better talk to you about getting Carrie, getting some of that ready. Okay, perfect, David D. No problem. I knew it was one of you guys that was irregular. I just didn't, I'd never seen it pop up. So we're good. In fact, I'm going to write that on here just so I remember. But yeah, that's gone, Pete. So I need to talk to you about getting some more of that probably. Bill Disk, Matt Williams, Ron Levesque, Adam Briggs, John Sanderson, Austin McCoy, Kevin Brown, and Wake Up America. We had a great raffle this week or this month, guys. Pete got pretty serious about this project. Wake Up got pretty serious about this project. And obviously, when we have good entries and good interest, that's when we throw more stuff in. So I was really debating about what to put with it. And I came across this horn ring here. I thought, well, we're doing a steering wheel. We'll do a horn ring. How about that? This is a 53 Chrysler. At least that's what it's marked. It's got some hairline cracks in the center, and it's got the ring has a break. Oh, right here. It's got a little crack in it right here. But there again, when this thing's hanging in your man cave, who cares? Nobody's going to know any difference. Nice, shiny, bright chrome. Cool ornament in the middle. So basically, for every $1 you send me, your name goes in the Big Buick oil can one time. You send me $5, it's in here 5 times. $10, it's 10 times. $50, you're in here 50 times. And all these guys that we just read off, as well as the guys that got in there from the last few weeks, their names are all right here in the can, ready for the drawing. So every $1 you put your name in here at one time. Then we shake them all up, spin it all around. I checked it at last time I checked it was about 6:30 tonight. So, and I had a couple entries today, nothing real late. One of them fell out there. I had to get it back in. One of them, I had a couple of them come in today, but nothing really late. So basically, if you have it in by noon on the last day is perfect. I do check it one more time later in the afternoon, but if you have it in by noon on the last day, it's not a problem. So let's go ahead and give away that steering wheel. Are we ready? All right, here we go, guys. Okay, here we go. Ron Levesque. So we'll mark the steering wheel to Ron. Now we're going to give away the Chrysler horn ring. Austin McCoy. I didn't see an Austin pop up tonight. Are you on here, Austin? And, of course, starting off next month's raffle. I know, right, John? He's got to be the luckiest guy in this group. All right, let's give away 10 entries into next month. Starting off next month's raffle. Oh, there is. Austin is here with us. Let's see who's starting off next month's raffle. Yeah, that's true, Kenny. It's kind of about what it's turning into. All right, here we go. What do we got? John Sanderson. All right. Well, that was fun. We had a great month. And like I said, like I always tell you guys, if we have good participation, I'll throw more stuff in. But now, what do we want to give away next month? We had a lot of great ideas. We threw a lot of ideas around last week when we talked about it. I asked you guys. You had a ton of great feedback. We talked about toys, but we did a toy last month, and I've still got a couple of cool toys set back. We may do a toy again next month. Accessories, tools, yard credit, promos, golden tickets. We haven't done golden tickets in a while. Hood ornaments, oil cans, badges, and I had some ideas. Like I said, I've got one or two more toys that are. I need to leave them in the raffle pile. They kind of keep inching towards the keep pile, but I keep trying to put them in the raffle pile. Keep coming back to the keep pile. So we may do another toy next month before that happens. Christmas auction, yeah, that's something else we need to start thinking about, Big Job. So we usually do that early in December so stuff can get there. In case you want to buy Christmas presents for someone else, they want to be there in time, right? Mm-hmm. So, we need to think about. We need to be thinking about that as well. And so toys I thought about. We did toys last month. Hood ornaments. I've got a couple cool hood ornaments. I was thinking about doing like maybe 2 or 3 hood ornaments and drawing a couple names, and you get to choose, which one you want. But since we did this stuff this month, it's kind of like, well, that's kind of parts too. So maybe push the hood ornaments off. That's right, Mark, our own Secret Santa. That's what we know. That's what the honest answer is, but we're not going to tell anybody that, right? Right. So, and like I said, I jotted all this stuff down. We had a great discussion about it and thought a lot about what was going to be the best plan of attack, but wanted something cool. I mean, obviously we had, I said we had good participation. in this month. A grease cap for your bride. There you go. I'm sure she would appreciate that. Wake up. And I thought, what's something cool? What's something we haven't done? Something a little bit different. Like I said, I know we got some more toys. I've got these hood ornaments, and I was like, but I want to shake it up a bit. I want to do something different. So that's what led me to this. So I hope you guys like it. We'll see if we see any hearts or fireworks, or if we get thumbs down, because we've never done anything like this before. And it's a very unique piece. It's a fairly rare piece. Condition is mediocre, but it's rare. So that's, sometimes to find the hard to find stuff, sometimes you don't always get the best condition. Just like my Jayhawk can we looked at. Is it the best one? No, but I'm thrilled that I've got one because they're so hard to find that anything that's presentable is a great addition to a collection, because people look at it and they're like, where the heck did that come from? I've never even seen that. Spark plugs, that's a good guess, Big Job, but not it. Brochures, no, Mark, not brochures. But when you set this stuff up on display, and it is something so odd and so weird, but has great graphics, and people are like, man, I've never even seen that before. That's what's awesome about it, and that's what we strive for. That's why we go to swap meet. That's why we go to auctions. That's why we go to flea markets. That's why we go to antique shops. Different, unique stuff that we want to add to our collection, just like the steering wheel, a Tucker radio. I mean, why else do you need a Tucker radio other than the fact that it's cool? Because there's a Tucker radio, right? Right. So it's that kind of thing. So something a little bit different, something I hope we can have some fun with, something I hope you guys buy raffle tickets for. Nope, it's not a Dort. That's a good guess, though, Randy. You were paying attention a couple weeks ago, weren't you? Swamp cooler. I don't think we're going to sell enough tickets to cover a swamp cooler. But it is a good guess, Marcus. That is a different cool accessory that a lot of people don't know what it is. Nope. For the month of November, our raffle is going to be a turkey. Nope. Distributor caps. Nope. We do have some very interesting guesses, though. I am definitely going to give you guys an A in creativity tonight, because there's some good guesses. So let me know what you guys think about raffling off the Hudson oil can. What do you think? Is this cool enough? So I told you guys it was something different, something cool. The hearts are going, the fireworks are going, the 100% is going. I've got this in a little better shape in my collection. I came across this one a while back. Really been debating what to do with it, whether to just keep it as an extra. I mean, this is probably a square 5-gallon is probably 30s, maybe early 40s. So I'm saying it's somewhere between 80 and 90 years old. It obviously they were around 5 gallons that were around forever. So this is prior to that. The bottom is still intact. You better start budgeting for the monthly raffle. Mark needs a nitro pill. Holy cow. I hope I didn't give you that bad of a heart attack. So this can is, like I said, it's 5 gallons square, about 13 3/4 tall. Thanks, John. Like I said, I've got it, but I probably had this for a year, debating as to whether or not I was going to let it go, because I would have no problem keeping an extra one of these. So we're about 13 5/8 tall. And the square part, about 9 1/4. One thing about it, it's empty, so it's not heavy. It's the box is going to be under 2 feet long, and like I said, about 10 inches square. So it's going to be a little big, but it's not going to be huge. That's going in the china cabinet. So John already has a spot picked out for it. So, yep, that's right, Pete. The planes, the tanker truck, the race cars, Kansas City Kansas City Company. A very hard to find. Well, like I said, the Court 20 years ago was a $300 can in good condition. So, and obviously this in this condition is not, something that's nice, but it still has pretty good value because, you can only look at, this side, no, this side stinks. But when you sit this on your shelf, you're only going to sit one side out. This side is very legible, very clear, and it definitely has significant fading, but you can make out all the graphics, and it's a pretty cool piece. So, obviously, it sounds like everybody's excited. I saw a lot of good positive comments. There goes the hearts again on the Hudson Motor Oil 5-gallon for the November raffle. And there again, depending on participation, we may throw a few other small oil cans in for a second place prize afterwards, but this is a beauty. I'm running into stuff. This auction pile's kind of getting out of hand here. Let's move a couple things around there. That ain't going to sit there real well, but I guess if it hits me on the head, auction it off now. So anyway, that's what we've got for next month in November. When are we going to give it away? Let's check and see here. Let's take a look at the calendar. Well, the 30th is a Sunday night. So I guess we can do it on the 30th. Yeah, that's right, Austin. Hide the Hudson bottle in your office in that. We haven't had a Hudson badge in a while, though. We do need some of that tonight, so. 30s can, yep, that's probably late 30s, so. Oh, it is casting a shadow on Heather. Oh gosh, sorry about that, Pete. Let's reshuffle here. I don't know how stable that thing is, but let me know if it's falling, guys. Okay, is that better? Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. We all good there? Heather in the clear? Everybody happy now? Till it lands on my head. Okay. That is odd, Randy. I've never heard of that. If has anybody else tried to hit a super chat tonight and it's not processing? It's kind of odd. So yeah, I don't know if anybody else has hit super chat tonight. Let me know if you're trying and it isn't going through. Maybe. Whoa, there it is. Boom. Kevin L. Give her a shot. Went right through. Supercharged super chat from Kevin L. So I don't know what's up, Randy. I don't know why it went through because Kevin just came through. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate that. Supercharged super chat from Kevin L. Sounds like Randy's trying, but we're not cooperating. Thanks, Kevin L. for the supercharged super chat. So anyway, while we're rolling on that, We at least know it's working, so I don't know if there's something wrong on your end, Randy, or what's going on. But I do know it's time for probably, let's see what else we got to do. It's time for a flash auction. Here we go. We're going to sell a Phillips 66 quart right here. This is a composite can. This is composite. They made an aluminum one that was dated in like 1959, according to the book. Let's get this thing on the timer. We got 1 minute. Here we go. We're live. This does have some paint and crap on the back, but it still looks good here. Austin at 25. Remember, this is a composite can, aluminum lid, aluminum base. But, man, this face part still looks good. It's just got some paint or something spilled on the back of it. Christine at 28. So I'm guessing since the aluminum one was 59, this is probably early 60s since it is a composite. But been poked at the top. Bottom's still in good shape. This was 2020 weight. 30 seconds gone. 30 seconds left to go. Ron Levesque at 30. On the Phillips 66 composite can. I wish the back was cleaner because his front looks great, but still a good-looking can from the 60s. And we're getting ready to wrap this one up. We're already about down to the end. We got a few seconds left to go. I've got Ron at 30. Any snipers out there ready to shoot? Boom. Austin, 32. Couple seconds left to go. And here we are, and we are done. Austin at 32. All right. That was fun. Keeping things boogieing. Those are fun. I'm kind of having fun with those. All right. Where else are we at? What else we got to do? We want to sell some more stuff. We want to talk about some more stuff. What should we do? Hippie's having a good time. That's perfect. We could do, Tim says so. We could do another flash auction right now. Oh, this is killer. Crazy flash auction. 1 minute gone. 1924 Kansas, 101 years old. This is original paint. It was bent here in a couple spots we can tell on the back. But this is original paint. We don't even think we've sold in 1924 before. Waycamp at 20. This is green and white. I honestly don't remember selling a 24 before on here. It's an odd size. Let me give you the size while we're going here. 15 inches long by 5.5. Waycamp at 20. Coming up on the 30-second mark. We're already halfway through this in one bid on a 1924 plate that we've never sold before. Where's everybody at? 1924 plate. Waycamp at 20. Ron at 35. We're ticking away. We're coming down towards the end of this one. Ron at 35. We got a little bit of time left, but not a lot of any sniper shots out there. We're going to find out here very soon. Few seconds left, and here we go. We are just about done, and that will do it. Ron at 35. You got a maker there, John? Did you have somebody stop by with a defibrillator for you there or what, buddy? Good looking piece added to Ron's collection. All right. Wake everybody up a bit there. Grease cap tonight. This thing is cool. This thing is cool, and it is crazy rare. All right, we're getting some more stuff popping up on the Nobody's page. Appreciate that, guys. Tonight's grease cap. This is an odd duck. Made for a very, very short time. The parent company for the Ajax Motors Company was Nash. Nash Motors. The Ajax was a 6-cylinder, 40-horsepower automobile offered in touring and sedan body styles. It was well received when it appeared in 1925, and it sold well in its first year, over 22,000 units, but the sales figures did not satisfy Nash. So later in 1926, the Ajax was renamed the Nash Light 6. New emblems and hubcaps were produced to change unsold Ajax cars to Nash cars. So, the Ajax was made from 1920 in 1925. They made 22,000 cars, and into 1926. But by the end of 1926, the Ajax was being rebranded to the Nash Light 6. So, the grease cap we've got for tonight was off a car that was barely made for over a year, the Ajax. Check this thing out. Made by Nash, the Ajax 6. Bet you haven't seen a lot of these. Yeah, I bet so, Big Job. John's ready to buy. This one's whammied a little bit over here on the side, but these things are crazy rare. Lots of hearts. The bids are still going. We're not even selling it. We're ready. We got bids pouring in. 3 inches across it. The Ajax is really pretty clear. There appears to be original paint, I think, on this one. We can see on the back, Jess needs it. Where it was all cast into the cap. It's cool. It's a good looking piece. And obviously not a very common one that you see very often. And at least where this one got whammy, I didn't even clean this. I mean, this aluminum would polish up pretty nicely. But it got whammied over here, but fortunately it didn't affect the Ajax on here. So this is definitely one that you're not going to see very often for the Ajax. So anyway, I've been trying to decide what to do with this because this actually is a duplicate. So I've been trying to weigh whether I should sell it or not, but I don't have it cleaned up to where it would really pop either. So I've kind of been weighing what to do with this particular one on what sell it. Yeah, we can. That's up to whatever you guys think. But it's kind of cool that, this car was only made for a year and a half. There are only, John says you can take care of that, take care of cleaning it up. So that's Randy at 50. Randy called, you clean it with Ajax. I never thought of that, Randy. What a novel idea. Randy Ellenberger at 50. God, you guys are making me think I need to sell this. I mean, I've got another one, but if I sell this one, I'm breaking up my pair, which I don't need 2 anyway, but it's a stupid concept. But what do you guys want to do? What should we do with it? Pete, 55. All right, guys, I guess let it go. Okay. Are we ready? Pete at 55. We're on the timer. This will be a normal auction. We'll go 90 seconds. Pete at 55. Only made for a little over a year. Not one you're going to come across very often, if ever. 30 seconds gone, 60 seconds left to go. Randy Ellenberger, 60. It's cool. I mean, there's 2 of them. I've got 2 of them, but I've got a pair. They've probably been together since 1925, but that's a 100-year-old piece. But part of what I do is I want to get this into other people's collections too. So Randy at 60. This one might get interesting. We're going to find out here in 30 seconds because there's the 1 minute mark. That's not a bad idea, Big Job. Actually, I hadn't thought of that. Let's, all right. I'm watching for shrapnel. We're coming down to the wire. Randy at 60, Ron at 66. Few seconds left. I've got Ron at 66. We're just about done. Randy 75, and that does it. Randy, there is no way Randy could have gotten that any closer. It was rolling to 130, like going from 129 to 130, and I was ready to call it when Randy 75 hit. A half a second later, and you wouldn't have got it done, Randy. But you literally made it by a half a second. There's no way you could have cut that any closer. Sounds good, Tim. Glad you were here tonight. Whew. Feel safer now. But that's a great piece. Congrats, Randy. I'm glad it's going to your collection. I guess we could sell my hat. Should we sell my hat? Yes. Sell my hat. This is actually kind of a rare cap. We can sell it. I don't care. That's what it's here for. This is a 4041 Ford commercial 6-cylinder cap. You never see these. This is, I mean, for as common as Ford caps are, and for as common as we see them at swap meets and auctions, this is not one you're going to see very often. These were available in two different configurations. One was the V8, and obviously this was the 6-cylinder truck. This is in pretty good shape. It's got a few dingies here and there. This is original paint in the Ford and in the circle around the outside perimeter. This is a stainless cap with a metal ring on the back of it. You can see where the Ford stamped in there. John, starting us off at 20. And this is, like I said, this is not one you're going to see very often. This is a really cool cap. Very clean Ford script. It's a little bit, you're right, Big Job. It is a little bit bigger than what we're used to because this is 3/4 ton pickup. It is 11.5 in diameter. It is a great piece. And with the original paint in it, just has a perfect look to it. So anyway, let's roll with it. John at 20. Here we go. I thought everybody's a little more excited about this one. John at 20 is all we've got going right now. Oh. $30 seconds gone. Working our way towards the minute. Ron 25. Christine 25. One thing about this being a little bit bigger than some of those caps, when you hang this, John at 30, this Ford script is much more recognizable because the Ford across here is 5 inches. So this is a 5-inch script across here. So when you hang this up in your man cave, it's really cool because it's easy to see. 1 minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. Christine at 32. Ticking away, coming down towards the end. Christine at 32. We've never sold one of these before. They do not come up that often. Kevin 37. Pete 41. It is almost as big as a pizza. We're just about ready to wrap it up. And that does it. Pete at 41 and Kevin at a 42 at 131. It was that close. But Pete at 41 is who I had at 130, and a half a second later I had Kevin. Now I got John at 45. Pete barely snuck that one out of there, but it's a good-looking cap. Let's just sell a couple more things while we're here. What do you think, guys? Yes. Okay. Oh, this is cool. Let's do that plate. Oh, here's another cool can. We got any ag guys with us tonight? No, I haven't sent it all in yet. Big job. I need to get some pictures to my shirt guy, but yeah, I need to get on that and get him some pictures. I haven't gotten to that yet, but I do need to get on that project. Let's go back 95 years and go up north to Wisconsin. Check this one out. 1930 Wisconsin. This is kind of a tan with black letters. I believe it's original. It's had a few touch-ups on the black. I don't know if we'll do pocket shirts or not. This is kind of an odd size. So, definitely a unique piece. Let me give you the dimensions, and then we're going to hit the timer on this one. 14.5 by 4 3/4 on this 1930 Wisconsin. $10 with John, $20 with Ron. John, 21. It's still so awesome what's going on here. A small handful of positive people coming together to support, keeping history breathing and surviving. And that's a great way to put it, Randy. We do have an amazing group on here. And that's why this thing works. That's why the gatherings work. It's awesome. Martin at 21. Martin stopping by tonight. Hadn't seen Martin on yet this evening. Coming up on the 1 minute mark, John at 21. Martin, 24. You bet, John. Appreciate you guys being here. 1 minute gone, 30 seconds left to go. Michael at 28. Ron, 32. Coming out of the wire, about ready to wrap this one up. Ron at 32. Couple seconds left. And that does it. Ron at 32. Then Martin had a 33 in there. Michael had a 34 over here. Ron got it done, but barely. Two people about scalped him coming off of that deal, but at the 130, that's what I had. All right. Man, I got a ton of those are great caps. We got a ton of stuff here. Let's see. What do we want to do next? All right, I got a couple things laying here. The badge. Which badge, Kyle? We got badges here and they're sitting here, but let's do Flash auction. Timers on. Chevy pickup hubcap. Mid-50s. We see the bow tie stamped in it. Not a bad cap. Few dings and dents. It's been repainted. They did kind of a crappy job on the paint. Pretty solid cap. We are time on the timer. This is a flash auction. We are going. Oh, I found it, Kyle. 9 3/4. 9 3/4 on the Chevy truck hubcap. Nobody's bidding yet. We're halfway through. Do we have bids? Are we hung up? Ron, 5, 30 seconds gone. Halfway through. Mark, 5. Coming along on this one. Mark, 10. Getting down towards the end on this one already. Flash auction. Here we go. Big job, 11. John, 11. Coming down to the end. Where are we at? I've got Mark at 12, and that does it. Mark at 12. Okay, let's do another one. Ready? Flash auction. Here we go. Alice Chalmers repair parts oil filter element. This actually was some sort of a filter, but it actually has a cool, it looks like a cool can. Replace filter, Alice Chalmers. We're live. We're on the timer on the Alice Chalmers repair parts can. Kevin L at 5. Nice shine. Good looking piece. Mark, 5. John, 10. 30 seconds gone. 30 seconds left to go. Randy, 22. Ticking away. Randy at 22 is my high bid. Mark, 27. Austin at 25. I got Mark at 27. Austin at 30. Few seconds left. And that will do it. Austin at 30 on the Alice Chalmers can. Randy had a 33 and it was too late. All right. Yeah, that's a big red dot. That's for sure, Austin. You want to catch a couple more plates, or you want to call it a night on auctions and catch the badge and a couple other things we need to talk about yet tonight? Oh, and the brochure, if we get to the brochure. What do you guys want to do? More? Austin. Yeah, no kidding, Austin. Let's see. I got one more batch of new plates here tonight. Let's do that. Sounds good, Mark. How about some consecutive new plates? Let's see what we've got here. We haven't done any of these tonight. 3 of them in order, brand new. We'll get the badge here in a second, Randy. These are stuck because they haven't been out of this envelope in 50-some years. There we go. 1970. 1970 is kind of an interesting color with this kind of a mint green. We've got the 26, 36. $37. I think these are all consecutive as well. Yes, and 38. The paper is so compressed against the plate, I can't hardly get the plate out. Because they've never been out in 50 some years. All right, here we go. 36, 37, and 38. These have a little bit of surface rust on them from storage, but we're going to sell you the whole set. 70 is a very interesting color year and definitely kind of different with that minty green and white. Ness County, consecutive plates, Kansas, Midway, USA. This is all that is stamped in these plates. You're going to get the whole set. Randy at 22, starting us off. All of them, one money. Martin at 23. We'll get them tucked back in the envelopes. Ron 33. Randy 33. And we're ticking away and we're live on the auction. Martin 35. You're going to get all three, the whole set, one-shot deal. $30 seconds gone. I need to quit finding these in threes. I need to find them in twos. They're easier to hold. Sean at 40. Michael Glagola, 42. One minute gone. 30 seconds left to go. Michael at 42. Taking away, working our way down to the end. Michael at 42. Ron, 44. Sean, 45. Just about done, and that will do it. Sean at 45. Whew, I was getting tired of holding them. Ooh, Michael had a 44 in there. Sean at 45 gets it done. Let me get these things put back in the correct envelopes. Christine's excited. And do you guys want me to ship this stuff, or you want to pick it up if you're coming up in a couple weeks? Just let me know on that as well. Let me get these back where they go. I mean, even when the tags are out of them, you can still see the tag in them. There's no tag in this because the tag is right here. Okay, sounds good. I will put a box together with your guys' stuff. So, all right. How about we do one more flash auction, and then we move on and catch the badge. We'll do one more auction on a cool plate starting right now. 1934, Ohio. 90 plus years old. Look at this thing. Burgundy, white letters. Look at the back of this thing. This thing is pretty straight, pretty flat, cool colors. 1934 Ohio. John at 20. We are going 1 minute. It is a flash auction. Ron at 25. Here we go. Randy, 34 on the 1934 Ohio. This is from the Rust Belt. Look at how good this thing is after 90 years. John at 35, 30 seconds gone, 30 seconds left to go. And here we are going, Michael at 23, but we're already past that over here. You must have a delay. We're coming down to the wire. We got a few seconds left. I've got John at 35 as we're ticking away. Coming down towards the end, over 3/4 of the way through. Ron at 40. And we are coming down to the end, and we are just about done. Michael at 41. And that will do it. Michael Glagola at 41. And there goes Randy with a 42, but I had Michael at 41 at the end. It's a great plate. It's a cool piece, no doubt about it. All right. Okay, guys, we need to catch the badge and get to the brochure yet tonight. This brochure is amazing. And get ready to wrap things up. So tonight's badge, I think this is one that we did a long time ago. But some of these early enamel badges, you guys have asked to start working them back in because it, a lot of the stuff, a lot of you guys hadn't seen. We may have done this stuff 3-4 years ago. And so there's a lot of things out there that you guys want to see again. This particular piece here is kind of an odd one. It's not very common. It's not one you see very often. And it's probably a company that a lot of people may not have ever even heard of, actually. This particular badge. Okay. Ned Jordan set up the Jordan Motor Car Company in 1916. The first Jordan appeared in late 1916 for the 1917 model year. The Jordan was an assembled 6-cylinder motor car with the look of a custom car and used the highest quality standard components in the industry. Nearly 1,800 Jordan cars were built in the first year, and by 1918, annual production had risen to nearly 6,000 cars. No, this one's not an auction. Definitely not an auction. It's the only one I've got. I think it's the only one I've ever even seen. The racy-looking wire wheels helped to promote the Jordan as the car for the adventurous and young at heart. Ned Jordan used his skills to emphasize this in his marketing. The celebrated Jordan Playboy model appeared in 1919, and in 1923, Ned Jordan produced his now famous Somewhere West of Laramie advertisement for the Playboy. In 1925, an 8-cylinder model was added to the line, and all Jordan models were 8-cylinder from 1929. Ned Jordan's greatest car was his last, the Model Z Speedway Ace, which had an 85 horsepower engine, and sporty coachwork was able to deliver 100 miles per hour. But introducing this kind of car in 1930, just after the stock market crash, was a mistake. Jordan cars did not sell at this time. A reorganization of the company was made in December of 1930, but it was all over by the following year. So definitely not one that you see very often. Made from 1917 up to about 1930, the Jordan. This one does have a chip up here in the corner. So it's definitely a different piece. Like most of these badges, they're not large. This is about 2 1/4 in diameter. The button is broke off the back. These had a button on the back where it would press on the grill shell. But that's why we're doing them, Ron, and that's why this topic came back up, because of I've got probably a couple hundred of these, and there's so many different and unique ones that a lot of guys have never seen. It all started when we got the Dover out a couple weeks ago and checked it out. That the topic came back up of, hey, let's bring those badges back out. Yeah, we've seen them before, but it's been a couple years, so let's go ahead and dig them back out. So that's why tonight we've got the Jordan badge out. So we'll keep working on some of those for our badge section. I mean, that's actually how the badge section started, was going through a lot of those early enamel badges. That's how we started doing a badge and emblem section, was because of those. So, hey, that's a good question, right, Randy? I wonder how John is doing. Okay. But actually, that's a great question right now, Randy, because I'm getting ready to get this brochure out. And I know a lot of times a lot of guys have to jump off, and I understand that. But, man, the guys that don't stick around for these brochures, man, tonight is crazy. Tonight is crazy. I actually went into the box having an idea of something to look for, and then I found this. So let me, I got it over there. Let me get this auction stuff out of the way. Gray Kitty's not here tonight. Last couple weeks, she's just been hanging out in the big shop. Actually, she hasn't been in here the last couple weeks. She's got a kitty door over there, but she just hasn't been hanging out in here much. Okay, guys, I forewarned you, and actually, we lost a few guys here over the last few minutes, so they're going to miss out because this is crazy. Another one of those pieces that it's like this really exists, and I'm holding it. So here we go, guys. Tonight's brochure. I promised you a good one. You guys let me know what you think. You guys tell me if I'm off my rocker for being this excited about a brochure, because I'm really excited about a brochure. This brochure for tonight is the 1939 Lincoln Zephyr V12. So I haven't opened it yet. I was waiting to look at it with you guys. There's a lot of hearts going. That's good. Is that okay, Randy? Is it cool? So, I thought this was pretty cool. Beyond cool. I thought this was pretty cool. You know, these packets, I get these packets, you know, all these brochures are stored in, you know, these plastic folders with the white paper in them. So I'm checking this out, and I'm like, man, this thing is insane. Okay? I mean, look at the condition on this. So I'm looking at it in the packet. I haven't opened it yet, right? And I see, yeah, I know I do need to get some gloves for this stuff. You're right, Randy. I see something sticking out behind the corner of it. I was like, what's behind it? What's behind me? This thing is, I mean, look at this. This is what I'm looking at. I'm still in shock because I'm looking at this, right? Right? I see this sticking out. There's something sticking out behind the corner. This thing has its original envelope. It came with the original envelope that this brochure was put in 1939. 86 years, this paper envelope has remained with its original brochure for 86 years. And the hearts are flowing. I mean, finding the brochure, I could see that. That's, I'm sure there's still some out there floating around. But finding it with its original envelope. Okay, guys, let's check it out. I haven't looked inside. I waited till I got with you guys to open it. So far, what you've seen, do I have reason to be geeked out? Was it justified? Or am I just nuts? That is a very debatable topic. Maybe you shouldn't answer that question, because that could go either way on me. Here we go. Let's open it up. First page, just some information. Let's get to some pictures. Let's see what it says here. 3 years ago, the Lincoln Motor Company announced a new motor car, the 12-cylinder Lincoln Zephyr. In idea and performance, unlike any car the public had ever seen before. The Lincoln Zephyr for 1939, presented in this book, is still a new car. It is improved and refined, yet its fundamental design remains unchanged. The only car of its kind ever put on the road, it offers a basic new approach to the problem of modern transportation. It is a step into a new world. You are 200% right with that, Randy. Step into a new world. Totally justified. Thanks, Michael. I'm not completely crazy. Let's just start taking a little bit of this in. The sedan. Oh, man, look at this dash. Oh, I hope we get a better shot of this dash. I said this blue sedan looks great, but check out that dash. I hope they give us a better shot of that dash. The convertible sedan. The Lincoln Zephyr Coupe. Yeah, this is all artwork. I haven't seen any photos in here at all, Randy. The convertible coupe. The coupe sedan. The town limousine. Oh, wow. Talk about artwork. 12-cylinder performance and 14 to 18 miles to the gallon. Check this out, guys. We all like engines, especially cool ones. Look at that. The only car of its kind with your comfort and safety built in. There again, this is all artwork. That's definitely different, Kevin. That's true, Randy. There was a lot of that happened. Oh yeah, there it is. Whoo. Appointments and equipment. Let's see. What kind of equipment do we have? 2 efficient windshield wipers, 2 horns, 2 adjustable sun visors. Both front doors have both front doors have regular key locks for greater convenience. Okay, guys. Oh man. I hope you're ready for the dash picture because this is pretty magnificent. I don't think I've ever seen one in person. That's right, Randy. Look at this dash. And then over here, it gives us some more of the specifics. And there again, this is artwork. It shows a close up of the dash. And finally, on the back page, it gives us specifications: engine, ignition system, carburation system, steering, clutch, transmission, rear axle, brakes, springs, wheels, tires, and equipment. On the Lincoln Zephyr V12, 1939. So there we have it. The 1939 Lincoln Zephyr V12 original brochure with original envelope. Still together, 86 years later, still in this condition. Pretty amazing. All right, guys. So now you can kind of see why I geeked out. Sorry about that, but hey, it happens. It's in the original envelope. I mean, come on. And granted, sales brochures, a lot of times people would stick them in drawers. They do pop up. It's not like sales brochures are unheard of. But finding one that still has the original envelope, that is still intact, 80 plus years later, that's not something you see every day. No, it's all basically brand new. So anyway, guys, that pretty much wraps us up for tonight. Like I said, we'll see how next week goes, but I don't see getting back in time next week to get on. If I do, we may jump on for an abbreviated episode, but probably not going to be on next Sunday night. We'll see how it shakes out. Tuesday, I've got that sign video coming up from yesterday's auction that I'm super excited about. I hope you guys are as too. You know, I have a sign problem. I do like signs, and when they come up, I have a tendency to try to buy them, and that's what happened yesterday. So there were 3 lots. We ended up with all 3. Dad got 1, I got 2. And so glad you enjoyed it, Hippie. Glad you had time to stop by tonight. The Automobile Trade Journal. That's a great question, Big Red. We can do them anytime. In fact, what we probably need to do, Brian, and it's a good, I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, it's literally, you know, here's the one from 1913. It's literally still laying here. Still got Kevin's business card in for a bookmark where we were at. So, and we've got that other one up here from 1934 that Glenn found for us. It's right here. That we were working on. So we've still got them. So what I think we need to do, we've got so much cool stuff that we need to just start mixing it up. You know, some nights we may do a brochure, some nights we may do Auto Trade Journal. So I think we'll just start mixing some of this stuff up on what we do, so we can kind of get into some of that stuff, because you're right, Big Red, there's some super killer stuff in there. So thanks, Kevin. Appreciate the Johnny Carson comments. Still can't believe it that you guys think what we do here is somewhat entertaining, but hey, you keep coming back and having a good time and participating, so we're going to go with it, right? But I'm glad you're here tonight too, Michael. So anyway, we'll see how things shake out. We will get the sign video up for Tuesday night. We will have new content on Wednesday and Friday. What is coming up Wednesday and Friday? Hutch swap meet video will be coming up. Friday night's video, very interesting. I don't know what this car is. I don't know why it exists. It's got 154 miles on it. It was donated to a school. It was never released. It is got all kinds of weird stuff about it. I don't know if it was a test mule. I don't know if it was a concept car. I don't know if it was a prototype. I don't know if it was just a car they were going to put into production and never did. I don't know. I'm hoping that by putting it out on YouTube, I can learn a little bit more about it. Appreciate that, big job. So that's coming up Friday night. But, you know, that's what happens to a lot of those cars that are test mules. They make a bunch of changes, a bunch of modifications, but then they can't sell them. So they send them to a school. That's what happened to this one. So exactly, Pete. You know, it went out for members Friday night. So if you are super nobody or higher, you've already seen it. And it will go public next Friday night. So I'm hoping there's somebody out there that can shed some light on this thing, because I can't find anything about it on the internet. The regular production cars, they did make this as a production car. This one, obviously, like I said, is modified. But the actual production run of these cars that they built, the full run of them was 123 cars. So they only made 123 production run cars, and then this one is modified from a production run car. So it's a weird deal. I don't know. It's definitely one of those deals where rare doesn't mean valuable, because I don't think anybody cares. But it is an odd car. So I'm hoping there's somebody out there with some knowledge they can share with us to maybe bring this thing into perspective. So anyway, we'll see how what happens this week. Maybe we can bring you some cool stuff while I'm out of town. We'll see how that shakes out. Don't know how that's going to come together yet or not, if I'll be able to get you anything cool while I'm out. But that being said, I guess we'll go ahead and put an exclamation point on episode number 284. It's crazy that we're looking at. Thanks, Randy. Appreciate it. We're looking at 300 episodes coming up here first of the year. That's insane. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to get ready to wind things down. Hope everybody has a great week. Stay tuned. We'll have some more cool videos coming up this week. I hope you enjoy them. We'll be back. We may be back next Sunday night. If not, we will see you in 2 weeks. Same bat time, same bat station for some more Sunday night Gearhead Interactive live chat. The new raffle is live. We will start refilling the big Buick oil can with new names. We're going to put John's name right back in, and then we will start adding the new ones to that. Thanks for being here tonight, Hippie. Glad you enjoyed it. Glad you're here tonight, Chai Savage. And with that, we're going to call it a night. Thanks for being here, everybody. Have a great week. And maybe we'll see you next week. If not, we're sure to see you in 2 weeks, worst case scenario. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for your participation. We'll see you soon.